Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I'm sharing with you a very fun, very cute, very colorful pom pom wreath mounted on a styrofoam wreath ring with a very cute tin sign inserted in the center. This wreath would be awesome for a baby nursery in soft or bold colors, a child's bedroom, or a playroom, a preschool, or a classroom, or any area related in general with children. I'm donating this one to the Quantum House, a facility that houses families with a child being treated for a serious medical condition. And I'm going to be happy to donate this very colorful, very pretty piece to that facility. Welcome to all to my channel today. Please remember to subscribe if you are not currently. I post 2 to 3 tutorials weekly, showcasing home and holiday project tutorials. As well, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. And as always, your questions and comments are always welcome. Okay, let me show you how I created this very cute pom pom wreath. I am going to be making a lot of pom-poms, and I'll show you how I do that. I have a very simple method for doing that. The yarns that I chose are the types of yarns that have the tinsel. So it has a bit of a shimmer to the yarn. Now, I found some of those yarns at Hobby Lobby. And that's the larger package that you see there. I think it's called Yarn Bee. But you could feel the tinsel on it when you run your finger along the yarn. And you can also see the tinsel, obviously. Some of the colors, I had to go to Amazon for those. Now, this isn't quite what they call the eyelash yarn. This is a little bit more subtle in the tinsel. But you could do this as well with any yarn. Any kind of soft yarn would be fine as well. I just wanted to do mine with this tinsely type of yarn. Now, even there, you can see the shimmer of it. Kind of reminds me of the shimmer of Deco Mesh. But anyway, some of the colors, like I said, I had to get on Amazon. Now, I was trying to go for the colors in the sign, which we'll see in just a minute. Now, I just create a cardboard piece that's 3.5 inches wide, and I wrap it 100 times. Now, yes, you can use a pom-pom maker. I actually prefer this method. It's old school, but it's great and awesome and easy, so I go for it. So I wrap it around, not tightly, but, gently, 100 times, and then I slide it off of my piece of cardboard. Lay it down on the table. Now I'm going to take another piece of yarn, and I'm going to tie up that yarn around the center really, really tight so that the loops are on each side, on the left and the right. I do tie a double knot so I get a nice tight knot on that, because I'm going to be cutting through all of those loops, and that's going to create my pom-pom. Now I go ahead and take some sharp scissors, go ahead and cut through that on both sides. Now, like I said, feel free to use a pom-pom maker if you like. Doesn't matter, as long as the end result is a pom-pom. And no matter what, whether you use a pom-pom maker or you do it like I did, you're still going to have to trim. So pom-poms are rather easy to make. On my channel, I aspire to inspire the novice crafter, new to crafting products and techniques, as well as more seasonal crafters seeking new ideas and techniques and perspectives. And so if you are knowledgeable about how to, for example, create a pom-pom, just simply forward over the filming of this task. Very simple to do that if you are already knowledgeable about doing a particular task in crafting. Okay, now that I've said that, I'm going to be creating a lot of pom-poms. I'm going to create 24 large pom-poms and 12 smaller ones. For each color, I'm doing 4 large and 2 small. Okay, so I have pink, purple, blue, yellow, and orange. Now, of course, if you want to create this project, you could use whatever color yarns you wanted to, obviously. You also can use any sign that you like, obviously. So that's completely up to you. This is the one I chose. I think it's adorable and perfectly appropriate for where I'm going to be donating this piece. Look how pretty the colors are in that sign. That's an 8-inch sign. And what I did was I purchased yarn in the colors that would really pull the colors out of that sign. In plain words, using all of those pretty, pretty colors that create that very cute sun sign. Now, you saw I had a piece of wood there. I'm actually going to be mounting that sign on a piece of wood. You'll see me do that later. The reason being because that I'm going to be using a styrofoam wreath ring, which is 11 and a half inches, nearly 12. And that sign is only 8 inches, and I needed a way to attach the sign. So you see there, I have 2 Robert Stanley ribbons. One is a beautiful purple satin. The other one is a sheer purple. So I'm going to be using 2 different ribbons for a bow that's going to attach to the hanger of this piece. Now, I have here some tinsel mesh tubing. This is not like the mesh tubing at the Dollar Tree. This is actually a tinsel mesh tubing. I got this on craftcentraldesigns.com. Absolutely love this mesh tubing. Now, I'm going to be creating some little mesh tubing bows. They're going to be 4-loop bows, or 2 loops on each side. And I'm going to leave about a 3-inch tail. And I'm just going to do my figure 8 loop bow, which if you follow my channel, I recently did a tutorial on creating small bows, and the way in which I create these bows is included in that video. But it's very simple. It's just you just fold the loops under, fold it over, fold it under, and fold it over. And you have a figure 8 loop, which you hold together, obviously in the center with your fingertips. Now you're going to take just a little piece of pipe cleaner. I happen to have some purple tinsel-y pipe cleaners that I had purchased at some point in time at the Dollar Tree. I'm not normally a fan of those pipe cleaners, but I've just happened to have them for some reason, so they just suit my purpose here today. So what I'm going to be doing is inserting 8 of those mesh tubing ribbon bundles in my wreath in between my pom-poms. Now, I have 2 sizes, and this was the sizes, 3.5 inches wide. And then I have another one, 2.5 inches wide, and that's the one I used for my small pom-poms. So I have 24 large and 12 small. Now I cut a piece of that purple satin ribbon. I would suggest cutting about a 14-inch piece. And what we're going to be doing with that, or what I'm going to be doing with that, is creating a hanger. Now, you've seen me do this before if you follow my channel, but I don't want the bow on the wreath itself. I'm going to be placing it on the hanger. So it's going to be over the top of the wreath rather than on the wreath. So I take my 14-inch piece of ribbon, fold it in half, find the exact center, pinch it, gather it, and then I take a little pipe cleaner, wrap it around there nice and tight. This is my halfway point. This is where I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to attach those 2 ends to my wreath ring. And I could go ahead and snip off the excess because I don't really need that excess on there. So I'm just getting this prepared ahead of time, and I'm also going to do the bow. But what this I'm showing you here, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm attaching it actually to that styrofoam wreath ring. And I'm going to actually attach it before I start putting on the pom-poms. Reason being so that I can just place my pom-poms around the attachment of those ribbons on that styrofoam wreath ring. Okay, I am going to make a bow. I created a detailed tutorial on how I create the larger bows very recently, so just look on my playlist and you can see a more detailed tutorial on that. I'm going to make my bow loops around 10 inches. So I fold my ribbon over, pinch it in the center, give it a twist, because I always want the right side of my ribbon facing up. Fold over my loop, pinch it in the center, the same 10 inches. I'm going to create a 4-loop bow. All of those loops, of course, at 10 inches. Pinching in the center, folding over my loops. Make sure you have the right side of the ribbon facing up. And this is going to be the base of my bow. I'm going to combine that sheer purple ribbon with the purple satin. This is a very, very pretty combination to combine satin and sheer. Something I did a lot of during my Easter projects, and I decided to do it on this piece as well. Now I'm leaving about 8-inch tails on this bow because I am going to kind of curl those a little bit once I have that bow attached to the hanger. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be using that sheer ribbon, which is that one right there. That one is actually also wired. There's just something so pretty about putting a sheer ribbon over a satin ribbon. Try it. It's really, really, really pretty. So I'm going to create the bow in this same way. But I'm going to make my loops around 9 inches this time, just so that they sit a little bit smaller on the bow than the purple satin. Using the same technique, folding over my loops, pinching it in the center. Now I'm going to do one thing on here that I didn't do with the base bow, and that's I'm going to add a center loop. And again, I'll show you how to do this if you want to watch the tutorial. So I'm going to use my pipe cleaners from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to create a center loop, just folding my ribbon under, creating one single small loop, going right down the center of the bow. Take my pipe cleaner from around the back, pull it around, twist it firmly a couple of times. And now I have the bow that's going to sit right on top of my satin purple bow. And I'm just going to pop that tail right through the center, match it up with the one on the bottom. And then I'm going to use my pipe cleaner tails to wrap around the purple satin one and connect those two bows to become one fabulous bow for the top of my Pom Pom Wreath. Place it right there in the center, match up the centers. You're going to pull that around really, really tight and twist that pipe cleaner in the back. And this bow is complete. I am going to be angling the tails. I prefer to do that. You could dovetail if you prefer that. I'm just adjusting my loops a little bit here. I have this nice wired ribbon, which really is advantageous whenever you make a bow, but also just for the longevity of the piece. If you use wired ribbon, you'll have a nicer looking bow for a longer period of time. And that is going to attach to that hanger piece that we cut at 14 inches. And later on, I'm just going to be gluing that right to that little area that I gathered and put the pipe cleaner around on the 14-inch hanger piece. All right, here's that round, and it is 10 inches, and that sign is 8 inches. So what I'm going to do is just place it down on that wood round and draw around it. Now this is going to enable me to just glue that right to the back of that styrofoam wreath ring. But I don't want my tin sign to be down inside of my wreath. I would rather it be more toward the top. So what you're going to see me do here in just a bit, after I get done painting the sides, just in case you see them, I wanted to just be sure that you didn't see that wood if you looked on the inside of the wreath. So I painted that. But anyway, I'm going to put some Jenga blocks on there just to mount that sign on the Jenga blocks. And that raises that sign up to the more the level of the Pom Poms. So I took 8 Jenga blocks, glued 2 of them together 4 times. And I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue on this. And then I'm going to put just a stream of that same glue on top of there, and then place my sign on there and glue that right to those Jenga blocks. And now I have a means of bringing my sign up more toward the top of my wreath. And just in case you can see, I did the purple paint, which I mentioned before. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to just glue that styrofoam ring right on to the wood. Now I did go around the back side and put another stream of glue right along the crevice or along the outer perimeter. And then I also took a piece of white twine and glued that on as well around the base. So that way I'm sure that that styrofoam ring is not going to loosen up from that wood piece. Okay, now I have my hanger, which is folded in a V, obviously with the satin side facing the front. And now I'm going to use a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue. I'm going to use 2 straight pins in each of those tails of that hanger. And I also use a little bit of hot glue. But those straight pins are great because they really hold it in there while it's drying. And those straight pins, of course, go right into that styrofoam. But, of course, you also want to make absolutely sure, whatever sign that you're using, that you have your hanger straight. Now, I don't think I mentioned it, but I got that sign on Etsy. And I'm going to put in the description box, if you're interested in that particular sign, the shop that I got it on Etsy. So I'll put that in there as well as any other pertinent information regarding this project. Okay, so I have my hanger on. I have my sign all ready to go. And I'm going to start applying my pom-poms. Now, this was the fun part. Of course, I still had a lot of trimming to do. Despite however much trimming I did initially, when I made the pom-poms, I found that I had to do a lot more. So I put a paper plate next to me, and I just used my very sharp scissors, and I just trimmed up all of my pom-poms as I went. And I'm going to be careful here to distribute my colors. Also, the size of my pom-poms, because I do have larger pom-poms and smaller ones. So when I place my pom-poms on my styrofoam ring, I'm going to place them facing different directions. Like one would be kind of facing the inner perimeter of the wreath. And then And the next one I would place right on top of the wreath. And then the next one I would place a little bit facing outwards. So you get the idea. It's kind of like what you do when you create a floral wreath. You don't want to just line up your pom-poms in a row. You want to, just kind of position them in a way that they're not lined up like straight, if that makes sense. You'll see me doing that here in just a minute. Look at that pretty pom-pom. Oh my, I love this yarn. Not that it wouldn't look good and just a regular yarn as well. I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would be beautiful, but I just wanted to do something really fun and, different. So I chose a different yarn than I've ever used before. I've never used this yarn before, but I really love it. Okay, so now that pom-pom I faced a little bit facing inward. Now, another thing is I don't want to cover up any more of my actual sign than need be. So I'm real careful when I place those facing the inside, but I also have the ability to go around and trim up those pom-poms if any of my pom-poms are, encroaching on too much on the area of the sign. So yeah, this was really fun and such a colorful, fun wreath to do. Something different. I think this would be such a cute idea for, a playroom, a nursery, a children's area of any sort. Yeah, it's just really colorful and fun. So I did find myself doing a lot of trimming, because that's that's the name of the game when it comes to pom-poms. You got to do a lot of trimming, but that's fun. All a part of the process. Okay, so I'm going to make sure, like I said, distribute my colors. Now, I do tuck my pom-poms in close to one another as much as possible, so that all of those, the 24 large and 12 small, fit just right on that wreath ring, which again, I think it was 11 3/4 inches around in circumference. I got that at Hobby Lobby, by the way, that styrofoam white wreath ring. And the hot glue holds those pom-poms very well. Okay, so I'm halfway done. Now I want to try and get as much of the sides with pom-pom on it as possible. And that's what it looks like halfway done. Now I just have to finish. And there it is. Oh my, it's very colorful. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun wreath to make. Okay, so now I have my little ribbon bundles. Now, I want to say the loops on those little ribbon bundles are only about 4 inches, because I don't want those loops poking up too far, but I wanted to add a little something around the wreath, just something to kind of break up the pom-poms. And so that's why I chose that tinsely mesh tubing. Now, again, you could use the mesh tubing from the Dollar Tree. It just doesn't have the same, it's just not the same. This is a fluffier, thicker tubing with tinsel. But again, you do you, whatever. If you prefer to just pick up some at the Dollar Tree, they generally have mesh tubing. So I used 8 mesh tubing ribbon bundles. I just placed them around the wreath here and there, placing them in different locations, some more toward the inner, some toward the outer portion of the wreath. As always, just want to try to achieve balance and symmetry and good distribution of the textures and colors, of course. But you achieve that with the pom-poms. Now, you could use different colors of mesh tubing if you like. This is just, what I chose for my piece. But use your creativity. Mix it up. do whatever you like. Okay, so I didn't show this part, but I just attached that bow right to that V-shaped hanger that we created with hot glue. It was that easy. Then I wrapped a pipe cleaner around, formed a loop to hang it by, and that was it. And this was a pretty easy piece to make. And I hope you feel inspired to maybe and perhaps make one for yourself in your home or your child's room or a baby nursery. This would be cute if you had a really cute sign. You could do this, these pom-poms in pastel colors. Oh, that would be so pretty. Yeah. This piece has a lot of potential. Just have to use your creative imagination. And there you have it. My Pom Pom Wreath. Okay, here's one last look. Remember, if you are not currently subscribed, I hope you will consider doing so. Don't forget to leave your comments or questions. I always love receiving those. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you like this one. Something different that you've never seen on my channel before. And that's my goal, always to bring you something just a little bit different. Okay, until next time, you all take care.